Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. In a video I talked about the strength in our genes and the car accident my dad was in when he was hit head on US 23. And they estimated that to be a 140 mile an hour impact. Here's another car accident my dad was in. But not just car accident, I mean the crazy things that happen to us, right? Our family just seems to be stricken with them. My cousin and I have talked about this. It's just the things that happen in our life is different. Here's another one of those different sort of stories. My dad became, I now understand, I never understood it when I was younger. I can't say he was really like this as a kid, when I was a child. But I never understood why my dad became like so scared of everything in life. And he was scared of like everything in life. He'd have all these cool toys, a boat, a Harley, a hot rod. He'd never use any of it. He'd just make it nice and he'd just sit there. My dad had great ideas as far as engineering and thoughts and building stuff, but he was always scared. Oh, I have this great idea for this, but somebody might get hurt and use this item and I might get, he's scared of everything. But this is another one of those things that made him be like that, I'm sure. So when we were kids, and I mean we were kids, I was probably, I don't know, 8, 10 years old. My dad got this car, and my dad used to wear his seatbelt. He didn't just quit wearing a seatbelt, or not wear it. He didn't not wear a seatbelt because he was just Billy Bad. Yeah. He didn't wear a seatbelt, and this is what caused that. So he bought this car, and I don't know how long he had it. He hadn't had it very long. He had his seatbelt on. He's leaning up against the door, went around the corner, and the door opened. And he fell out as he was going around the corner. But he couldn't fall out because his lap belt, a seatbelt, comes into a V and it's open on the outside of the door. Not meant to hold you in going that way. There's already a wall there. Seatbelts keep you from going forward into the dash and the steering wheel. Obviously, this accident was before the accident that was on 23 that made him stop wearing a seatbelt. So he falls out of the car but can't fall out because the lap part of the belt is still holding him in. And when he went sideways, his body twisted and his foot wedged in between the gas pedal and the brake, down on the gas. Now he's hanging out of a car, strapped into the car. He can't fall out, and he's trying, and he's got a lap belt hold him in place. And he's trying to grab the door. He's trying to pick himself up, and the momentum of the car, because it's still turning, he's off the steering wheel. It's on its own. And he couldn't fall out because he's wearing a seatbelt. So finally he was able to get his arm over and hit the button to release the belt and fell out of it. He said he was looking underneath the door of the car and he could see a telephone pole coming, and he just reached in and was able to get his arm up enough to unclip, push the button on the seatbelt. Seatbelt released and he fell out of the car, and the car smashed into the telephone pole and other cars and into a parking lot. Once again, my dad hit the ground. I don't know what all he hit. I remember he had a hole in his knee, his left knee. He had a hole that was, you used to watch him, he had stick his finger in, they'd pull stuff out of it. But my dad didn't come home and whine and cry about it. He was a grumpy SOB, don't get me wrong. Wasn't any different than any other day, really, as far as the mood goes. At first he was calmer. I mean, you take a hit and it does knock you down and calm, puts you in a state of mind that isn't always, it's just numb. So there was that effect, but Oh, that was another accident my dad was in that, again, tell me how many people that happened to, right? The crazy things in our life. But somehow we keep surviving.